Of all the woodland plants, this is one of the most aggressive. It waves its shoots agitatedly from side to side, as if feeling for the best way forward. And when a shoot settles on its course, it thrusts ahead relentlessly. The invading stem's backward-pointing spines give it the grip it needs to climb over almost anything that stands in its way. Before long, the shoot will put down rootlets, and then new territory will have been annexed for the bramble's empire. Access to light is the great problem here. Those plants that can command the surface can rule the lake, and none does so on a greater scale and more aggressively than this, the giant Amazon water lily. Its gigantic leaves are armoured with spines that protect them against any fish that might try to make a meal of them. Their huge expanse is kept outstretched and floating on the surface by a lattice of buoyant, air-filled struts. The crinkles in the surface swiftly flatten out as the leaf expands to its full size. The edges are turned up so that the leaf can shoulder aside any competition. Fully grown, a single leaf is 6 feet across. Virtually no other plants can live in the black shaded water beneath these leaves. From such apparitions as these come spores, the fungal equivalent of seeds. They're so small that they drift away like smoke. But the appearance of these spectacular constructions is brief. As soon as their spores have been shed, sometimes after only a few days, they collapse. Now they are merely food for maggots.
This version of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them has been specifically created for the use of Hogwarts students only. While there are many fascinating creatures here in Britain, some of which you may have encountered in your studies, there are plenty more in foreign countries. However, before we get into them, let me first explain the Ministry of Magic classification system. All creatures are different in nature. Some are tame and can be kept as household pets, whereas some are extremely dangerous and should not be approached. Therefore, the Ministry of Magic classify each creature on levels of perceived dangerousness. The categories are as follows: XXXXX, non-wizard killer, it is impossible to train or domesticate. XXXX, dangerous or requires specialist knowledge and a skilled wizard may handle. XXX, a competent wizard should be able to cope. XX, harmless and it may be domesticated. X for boring. A word of caution to you all: if you are lucky enough to travel to any of the countries mentioned, take the classification system of each creature into consideration before exploring the local area.
There were once 3 brothers who were travelling along a lonely winding road at twilight. In time, the brothers reached a river too treacherous to pass. But being learned in the magical arts, the three brothers simply waved their wands and made a bridge. Before they could cross, however, they found their path blocked by a hooded figure. It was Death, and he felt cheated. Cheated because travelers would normally drown in the river, but Death was cunning. He pretended to congratulate the three brothers on their magic, and said that each had earned a prize for having been clever enough to evade him. The oldest asked for a wand more powerful than any in existence, so Death fashioned him one from an elder tree that stood nearby. The second brother decided he wanted to humiliate Death even further, and asked for the power to recall loved ones from the grave. So Death plucked a stone from the river and offered it to him. Finally, Death turned to the third brother. A humble man, he asked for something that would allow him to go forth from that place without being followed by Death. And so it was that Death reluctantly handed over his own cloak of invisibility. The first brother traveled to a distant village, where with the elder wand in hand, he killed a wizard with whom he had once quarreled. Drunk with the power that the elder wand had given him, he bragged of his invincibility. But that night, another wizard stole the wand and slit the brother's throat for good measure. And so Death took the first brother for his own. The second brother journeyed to his home, where he took the stone and turned it thrice in hand. To his delight, the girl he had once hoped to marry before her untimely death appeared before him. Yet soon she turned sad and cold, for she did not belong in the mortal world. Driven mad with hopeless longing, the second brother killed himself so as to join her. And so Death took the second brother. As for the third brother, Death searched for many years but was never able to find him. Only when he attained a great age did the youngest brother shed the cloak of invisibility and give it to his son. He then greeted Death as an old friend and went with him gladly, departing this life as equals.